Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. It's time to trust your intuition. This is your inner knowings. Through questions and points of conversation, I can help others feel empowered. With the ability to touch people's past lives, I help others connect and not feel alone. Sit with me and call in live, 888-994-4995. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I have mixed emotions about today's show. I'm really sad and devastated with the news. However, my program, as my viewers know, is all about positivity. So I'm going to try and raise the vibrations with the unbelievable things that are happening today. So please call in, and anything that I can do to help, I don't know, but your questions are welcome. 888-994-4995. I'm also going to open it up to the studio. So here we go. Thank you. Any questions, please?
Sally, with all the things that are going on around us today, what messages aren't we seeing, the mixed emotions aren't we seeing that define us as some of the actions that we do?
Freddie, it's hard to take it all in. Yes, I'm Jewish, but it's not about religion. It's not about your country. It's not about color. It's hard to not talk about this today. I feel that my show, if I can help in any way, is to lift our vibrational energy. It's so sad what's happening. It's hard to even understand what's happening. But let's all pull together. I also and I want to open my show with a few seconds of let's pray for world peace. Whoever you are, what religion, what nationality, it doesn't matter. Let's just give a few seconds for world peace in this unbelievable world today. So much is happening. So I'm going to just pause for a few seconds so that anybody that's listening, even if it's recorded, when they hear the recording, please just pray for world peace. Just give me a few seconds and we'll start our show. Okay, let's go on. Any questions in the studio or anybody calling in? I'm going to give the number again, 888-994-4995. I know this is going out to many people in the airways, so please call in. Thank you. Any questions in the studio? I'm going to open it up to the studio right now.
Hey, Sally.
Hi.
I'm good, and you? I wanted to know what my guides have for me today, for this week. What are they saying?
Well, it's not a whole lot different from what they normally tell you, okay? I feel also that you hear them, and that's most important. They acknowledge the fact that you do hear them, okay? And the fact that we had this validation with the name of your guide that is not here but is on the other side. So please listen. Listen to your dreams. They're giving you messages in your dreams. This is really important, okay? So when you wake up, I want you to do one thing. I want you to write down what you've heard. That's very important because they are with you at this particular time, okay?
Okay.
Write it down.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
That's how I started, actually. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sally, with all the psychics and spiritual people that are worldwide, how do you think something like the devastation that's happened in Israel happened without knowledge of it?
How did it happen?
How did we not know? How did the state of Israel
I
not
honestly,
know?
Dawn, you know, I'm normally not lost for words, and you know that. I don't know. They did not know what was happening. And this is the sad point because they did not know what was going to happen. and it's absolutely destruction and devastation. Just before I came on my show, I do want to mention this because it's affected me very deeply, that my son called, who happened to be a medic in the army and has seen so much, and he was basically in tears. And I said to him, I'm just going on with my show. But he said to me, Mom, we need to tell people that this is terrible, this is awful. I understand that. And again, I'm going to say it's nothing to do with religion. It's nothing to do with it's the world, it's us. We need world peace. I don't want to dedicate my whole show to this, but it's on everybody's mind. And let's just pray for world peace.
You had such a great show last week with Russell, talking about beyond where we are. Are you getting any messages from the other side?
I do, and actually I had a dream last night that was very real to me. I think I just want to let people know that they are working with us. You know, obviously I believe that there are many people here that are off this planet, as I like to call them. Yes, we call them aliens, but they're off this planet. They are watching us very carefully. Right now, it's a very, very critical time in our humanity here. So as I say, people that follow me on my show, I always talk about positivity. It's hard, but we have to raise our vibrations. We have many people from other planets, as I have talked about, that are helping us, but we also have to help ourselves by trying to be positive. What's happening right now is absolutely devastating, but let's raise our vibrations if we can. I don't have all the answers. I try to answer your questions, but yes, I'm just a person here in this world today, and I don't have every answer, but I try to be very positive. For people that follow me, you know my program is very, very positive, my show. Is it hard right now? Yes, it is. But I welcome anybody that wants to ask me a question. Let's see, and let's bring my collective in to see what they're going to give me, the advice.
I have a question. I feel like there's an energy shift today. Do you feel the energy shift? And how do we shift back to a more positive collective?
Dawn, you are not incorrect. There is definitely an energy shift. There are powers, which I'm not going to go into, that are kind of giving negativity to us right now in the world. What we need to do, and it's so hard whether we turn the news on or we talk to people, but please just try to see, can we find anything positive? No, right now we can't. But just know that we have to spread peace. Peace is the answer, peace and love. So even if we don't even believe this, just send love out into the universe. It's really, really important at this particular time. We're at a crossroads. We can go either way. I'm not here to bring in negativity. I'm here to pass on positivity. But please just let's see where we can go. Try to give positive energy out into this universe. For my little part that I'm playing on my show, and I've been doing this for over a year, please just pray for world peace. It's very, very important. I wasn't going to talk about this, but how can I not? It's very important today.
When you were abducted, have you ever been to Hollow Earth?
Have I been? Yes, I have. I have. And my guide, who, as people know that know who I talk about with Aldo, he explained to me. I went into what we would call the underneath of this earth. I saw a lot, but mostly my actual travels were to different planets. And people that have been following me know that I've just recently come out with this. It's very important, but the message that they're giving us is very important too. They are watching what's happening here on Earth. For my little part that I'm playing here, I need to let people know that they are watching us. They are sending good vibrations. However, and I don't want to go into the negative of the people that may not want this, but they do exist, and I need to explain that too. So we need to send just positivity out there from all the other people that I have met from other people that are off this planet.
Okay.
Thank you for that question.
Sadly, we had the opportunity to cover a great concert on Saturday night. But things are changing, and venues are quieter than they anticipated since COVID. What are you feeling about business growth?
Can you just repeat the last
What
part
are you
of that?
feeling about how do we go to a positive business growth?
Okay, again, positivity brings in positivity. So always, whatever you're thinking about, be positive about it, because once that goes out into the universe, which I've talked about many times, once we start with the negativity, it's like it starts the ball rolling as far as negativity goes. I do feel, both of you, Freddie and Dawn, that you are definitely on the right track. Yes, we've hit something right now that is not positive. How can we find positivity in what's happening? But we still have to, so to speak, say, okay, let's see what's going on and let's see if we can change this. And I feel that's towards what you guys are doing too. You are on the right track. It's just that right now the world is in chaos, but this too shall pass. Do I know when? I don't know, but let's try to bring in as much as positivity. It's hard that we can. Even meeting somebody just that we haven't seen for a while, say, hi, it's so nice to meet you. Anything helps. Does that help and explain a little bit?
Yes, thank you.
Sally, you have to make adjustments in anything, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. And again, I'm not going to deter from the fact that my show is all about positivity. We have to make adjustments. We have to see what's happening. But let's try to go towards the fact that, I mean, it's hard. I can't get out of my mind what's happening. And I have to change this a little bit. But we're going through a very, very difficult time right now. But out of bad, and it's hard to say, and I don't even know if I believe it, can come good. So we have to concentrate on what may happen that could be positive. Please do not ever lose the positivity of what's going on. There's no positivity in what they're doing. I understand that. But you know, we're alive right now in this world. Let's try to change it the best that we can. I don't have the answers. I honestly don't. And this is the first time I can honestly say on my show that I'm really devastated and upset. But I'm still trying to find some positivity here.
Now, Sally, when people come see you, all of them always have questions about their future, like G-Man, about what's going on in their lives. So when they come and they sit and they ask, they're looking for answers of perplexion. They're looking for answers. Some are more devastating than others. So I guess my question to you is, have you seen an increase in that insecurity or lack of awareness, for better words, recently?
I have actually over the last few weeks, because I'm actually getting people, you know, our show goes out to many people, and I'm getting people from actually England that are asking me and talking to me about questions. They're concerned. We are all concerned about what's happening, and it's not just here with our circle of friends here in Florida. It's many, many people are really concerned of what's going on in the world today. So yes, I'm hearing a lot of negativity. I try to bring positivity, and you know that. You guys know that. I always talk about that. But sometimes it's hard to even understand. You know, I don't have all the answers. I have answers, and my collective talks to me, but I don't have all the answers. I just know that somewhere we need to find something good that's happening.
Well, more and more people seem to be asking the question, and they're asking questions that they don't have an answer to. Is perplexing, things of that nature. Is it what we're going through right now? Would you consider it an adjustment period, looking for another way to find resolution to problems that we all share, that we're all involved with, because we're all in this together? And it seems like these questions are becoming bigger than even searching for the answers, the correct path.
That's a great question, Freddie, and I'm glad you brought that up because we can't not talk about this, okay? Yes, we are going through an adjustment here. We can see that. We just turn on the news. It's hard to not listen. We have to listen to what's going on, but we are at a crossroads here. The news is devastating, and if we feed into that, which of course, I mean, I'm human, I'm here in a human body, I have to listen. I'm getting devastated, very, very upset. But let's try to send some positivity out there to maybe, if we can, change this unbelievable outcome. I absolutely have to say, I don't have all the answers, but let's try to remain positive as best we can. I'm going to sneeze. This is incredible that I do that. It's only on my show. I think we need to break for a commercial right now. What's happened?
How can people reach you? What's the number here?
It's 888-994-4995. My guides are with me. They, for some reason, make me squeeze. How many times have I sneezed on this show? It's incredible. Okay, it's just part of what's happening to me.
That when you sneeze, if you don't say God bless you, your spirit leaves your body, but when you sneeze, it goes back in.
Please, everybody. Thank you. Please, everybody say God bless you because it only happens on this show. Thank you very much, Sandy. Please, everybody say God bless you. I'm okay now. That's incredible that happens. I never sneeze. Okay, I'm open to more questions. Here we go. Any questions in the studio?
For some people, I've already opened mine.
I wanted to know, for my girlfriend, is she on the right path?
Yes. I immediately got a big yes in front of me, okay? So don't try to, I feel that I need to tell you this. You question some of the things. Am I correct in what she's talking about?
Everything.
Okay, I feel that very strongly. Stop questioning her and believe in her. That's very, very
I
important.
believe in her. It's just that certain things, I don't know.
Okay, forget the I don't know. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to her. You may not always believe what she's saying, but my answer to your question is she knows what she's talking about. Okay?
Yes,
I hope
ma'am.
that helps you. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sally, what do you do when you're with people that just don't understand where you're coming from, don't understand what you do for a living, or just don't understand a lot of the desires that you have for growth? How do you deal with that?
It's okay. I'm sure there are many people that question me and that are talking about me. I still continue with what I believe. Never let that distract you, Freddie. It's okay if they don't understand and don't believe. I understand that, but I still continue with my message because you know what's very important for the people that do believe. They need the message, they are ready, and they're ready to wake up, as I call it, okay? So continue with what you're doing. If someone says this does not make sense, okay, it doesn't make sense to you. Their timing is not correct. But there are many people that will listen. And that's what's important, for the many people that will listen.
But then do you try to convince them to see your way, or you just let it go?
By example, and I've said that many times, you continue with what you're doing by example. Not everyone is going to believe you. We're all at different stages in our life, and that's fine. That's how we're meant to be. But you still continue with your message. For the ones that don't understand it, that's all right. There are many people that are around that will understand it, and they're the ones that you have to reach. Does that make sense to you?
What happens if that said person is the person you're in love with?
If the person you're in love with does not believe you,
Not believes you, but like they don't understand where you come from.
that's all right, because I met my husband that way. He didn't understand anything, and today is one of my biggest followers. He loves what I'm saying because we've had so much validation. I did not let that affect me. I said, he will see, and many of my friends said, if he's with you, he will understand and we will get validation. And sure enough, today, he's not here right now, but he will tell you that he's had unbelievable validation.
Okay, so it's just patience.
Be true to thyself. I hear that very often. Just be true to what you believe. Not everyone is going to believe that, but as long as you believe it, there are many people that will also believe it and that will understand it. That's
Okay.
very, very important question.
But then you live with people, sadly, that constantly portray mistakes. Now, I'm not going to use the word weakness because it's not a weakness, but they portray things when they don't work out. Why is it that people talk more about you when things don't work out than when things do work out?
Unfortunately, that is us humans. They always try to see or question what we're doing. But as long, and I'm going to say, be true to yourself, carry on with what you believe. There are many people that will follow you that believe it. For the ones that don't, that's okay. It's just not their time. But don't stop what you believe, your message of what you feel that you want to do. Continue with that. We have the answers within us. And I talk about that a lot in my prose.
Then we're back to humans versus spirit,
Yes.
which is what we talked about last week and the week
Absolutely.
before, about how human characteristics and spirit characteristics, can they be in the same spot? Does it exist to have both at the same time?
Absolutely. Because I believe very much that we have a higher self that guides us, which we would call our spirit. That's the spirit part of us. It gives us messages. From what I understand and what I believe is that we are somewhere else too, which I call our spirit, our higher self that is somewhere. So we're in connection with the other side, just as I am on my show. I bring in my collective. And people that know me, I have no memory of this when until I watch my show, because I'm there with them right now and they are guiding, because they can see more of what's happening than what we can in our dimension here. What the key to this is lift our vibrational energy into the next dimension. We will gradually understand more. I'm not there. I'm the first person to say I'm not there. But I've experienced a lot because I had a guide here who was Aldo, who helped me. So I try to lift my vibration. How do I do that? By trying to see positivity in what we're doing here. And they guide us. It's our guides. They're talking to us. We don't always listen, especially when there's a lot of bad things happening here. But we need to raise that vibration so that we can come in contact with what I call our highest self. Does that make sense? And that's, that's one of my guides talking when I say that.
It does make sense because sometimes it's a logical approach towards something that you see, and it becomes very difficult to express what you just said for people to understand, because everybody has a different understanding
Right.
of it, especially when things aren't going well for people, trying to explain it to them at that stage of the game. I think that what G-Man said, patience, and you have to sort of wait until that opening occurs that people will listen to the response.
Right.
So maybe one of the adjustments right now is to have more patience with those that just don't get it.
Yes, we do need more patience, but again, what I always say is I try to explain this by example. I try to give what's happened to me, how I actually came to where I am today, because I had a lot of validation. We pass this message on by example of what's happened to us. We all have this, and I'm the first person to say it's not just me. We all have this. We've just got to believe it, Freddie.
You can't change somebody that has, my husband was the complete opposite. He didn't believe in one single thing. And, thank you. He didn't believe in anything. Anything I said, he just thought I was crazy, and I just ignored him. But you can't change them. They're set in their ways, and that's it.
You can't, but the only way that I find that I can change this is by example.
Right,
And that's the only way we can spread this. There are many people here that I am beginning to understand that are just not ready to open up to this. I can't save the world as I see right now. I mean, we have devastation. I can't change it, but I can lift the vibrational energy as best that I can. And if they're not ready, they're not ready. It's just like you can tell somebody that they can do something, and if they don't think they can, guess what? They
Right,
won't
they
be
can't.
able to do it. It's as simple as that. If you believe you can, I believe you can.
Yeah.
And that's very important too.
But isn't it important that change is definition? Maybe you did change him. Maybe it's his definition of what that change looks like and what you consider change to be. I've been around a lot of people who say they will never change to what I want them to do, but that's not what I'm looking for. Sometimes I just want them to think about what they're doing. And there, if you can get them to do that, then you have changed him.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely, you have. We've got to get to that point that they're going to understand that. So again, I'm going to say by example, Freddie, that's very important. You can have an idea, okay? And I believe that idea, if it's what it's meant to be, you will get certain things coming to you through the law of attraction. But if you can point that out to somebody that maybe have an idea and they just think this isn't going to work, by example, if they truly believe that this can happen, by being positive to say it will happen, if this answers to you, and you can show them that it happened to you, example, that maybe the same thing can happen to them. Does that make sense again?
Mind over matter.
Mind over matter. Perfect.
It's like a book. I used to say, you don't open the book, you don't know anything. It's ignorance. Now,
Perfect, perfect. And it doesn't mean to say that the person that doesn't believe it, that's where they are. They're just not have that open mind. The most important thing, and if I can't say this is enough, is to believe. If you believe that anything is possible,
Right.
and I have friends
I do
here in
too.
the audience that know that of me, I believe that this could happen, what was happening to me, and it's happening. If you don't believe it and you say to yourself, this is never going to happen,
right.
you're giving that negativity.
Negativity, right.
The universe only understands what we tell it, and this is so important. So if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. I have a
believe in
friend
everything.
here, I'm not going to mention any names particularly, who has had a lot by believing, but sometimes brings that negativity in here, and I think you know who you are, okay? But she actually is a very positive person, and many positive things happen.
Like,
I just want to say, I've known you for so many years.
Can you speak up a little bit?
I don't have the mic on. We've known each other for many years. And when I started seeing you, Aldo was around, and I would listen to you both talking. And things that's happened over the years, and that you're showing and teaching other people is amazing. Because, as I say, it was many, many years ago that, you got into this. And Aldo was a nice person to have around, which he was with you for a lot of years. So what you're saying now is just still amazement to me because of how you've grown from those days in your belief.
Thank you, Margaret. And as you know, and you've been my friend for, I'm going to say maybe 30 years, correct? That, even for me, I'm still a human being in a human body. I actually, in the beginning, couldn't believe what was happening to me. But I kept an open mind, and that's very important. And as you know, and you're I'm going to say one of my biggest fans today, I have given you so many messages. I wasn't even sure when I was giving you these messages that I was correct. But I think you'll be the first person to say that everything that I have told you has come about.
Absolutely.
So the main thing is to please keep an open mind. Just to know that there is far more going on than we know. And again, I'm going to say, please be positive. You don't want to, what we feel, we attract. And that's very important too. So if we're attracting negativity, negativity will come. If we believe that something positive is going to happen and we concentrate on that, it will happen. It will happen if you believe it. It's up to us. We have free will. We have guides that are here to help us, but we have to help them too by believing what they're saying, which is our inner intuition. Does that make sense? That's a guide that's telling me right now. I always say, does that make sense?
And it brings back a lot of memories over the years, the things that happened when we've been together, that I've seen what you're displaying now, then. And I just know, just hearing you, you just sound so amazing.
Thank you so
And I
much,
tell you
Mom.
this all the time because you are.
I'm just spreading the word. I'm no different to anybody else, but I feel it's
the
my
way you
time.
do it, yes.
I feel it's my time. They're guiding me to give this message for whoever is listening right now or passes it on to a friend to listen. I'm not here necessarily for the glory and fame. I'm here to show what has happened to me, and that's very, very important.
Yes, but you are getting to that point where
Thank
you are
you.
getting to people.
Thank you.
Sally, what can I do to bring more positivity in my house?
Okay, it's simple, it's easy. Just believe in yourself and spread positivity. Don't feed into the negativity that's going on around you. And there is a lot, and you know that. Just try to see the good. Tell them you're not interested in listening to this negativity. Show them by example. I'm getting such a strong message for you. Please, you are positive. It's bringing you down. Stop it. Stop it. You show them what really is real, which is positivity. Don't change that and you will be okay. Okay?
Sally, I have a question. When I was a child, very young, constantly I could just jump up and I would see all kinds of towns and things. And I couldn't understand why other people just couldn't jump up. That's all I had to do. And now I don't do it. I don't jump up anymore.
There's a part of you, Sandy, you know this. I've known you a long time. We haven't talked that much, but I know that you're able to do this. They play games with us, okay? I want you to open up to the fact of what used to happen to you. You get messages. You're actually very psychic. You're very into this, and I won't go into your story, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? You understand this. Please open up more. You're no different to me or to anybody that you are on your journey. You have just what happened to you can happen again. Just know that, and you'll see a very big difference in your life. I'm here to help you, and you know that.
So,
Okay.
so Sally, humans, the lack of security, as opposed to insecurity, can be filled by spirituality.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not here to preach as people do. I'm just here to show people by example what's happened to me. It changed my life. I had a lot of negativity for many years, but I also saw that there was hope at the end of it. And eventually I got to where I am. Am I happy all the time? Absolutely not. But I still try to see that whatever is happening to me is happening for a purpose. I'm no different to anybody. I've just opened up a lot more than even for myself when many years ago I was not like this. It's changed my life. Do I still get very unhappy or upset about what's happening in the world? Today is a classic example, but I'm here to still spread positivity as best I can. It's really important.
Let's take a commercial break.
Thank you. Oh my God, are you okay?
I did that already once.
This world, this life, this illusion. What is going on, we ask? What is happening? Why not take time and see what is happening? This world as we know it, it seems so real and yet so far away from where we've come. Corruption, greed, anger, power, revenge. Please wake up. We can change what is around us. How, we may ask? Learn to go back to where we were. Then we will have the clues. Then we can change and go forward. Please take the time. Do not fall into the game which we have put upon ourselves. We can change. We can make a difference. We have the power, each and every one of us. Go in peace. Go with love. Go as one. Zena.
A true story, Call Me Zena is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you could always seek me out for resources. Visit artbysallybernard.com today. Now, back to the show. Welcome back, everybody. Again, any questions in the studio, or please call in 888-994-4995, Studio A. I'm here to
Sally,
answer anything
This
that
is
you
off
want.
the subject, but.
That's
you-
okay.
You are not on YouTube. Jennifer and I both looked. This
Talking
week
to you,
won't
Mi-
be on until the following.
Talking to you, Mike.
No, it's live right now.
Talking to you, Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you for bringing that up, because there may be people that share this.
We keep
recording
looking
here
every time, and it's never on until the following week.
the
You're like a week
following
over.
day, because
It's not. You keep saying that, but it's not.
It's on live. We can show you all. It's on. It's running live right now on YouTube on Call Me
No,
Zena.
yes, but if I didn't come and I wanted to see this week,
It's right there.
it won't.
We'll show you.
We'll
Jennifer
show
and
you
I both
afterwards,
looked,
We'll
we could
show
not
you.
find it.
We'll
Thank
show
you for bringing that up, because I am
I'd
on
like to
YouTube.
know.
Show you. It's right there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, any questions?
Sally, what does Elizabeth have to say for today?
Elizabeth is unfortunately, they're not feeling happy and very concerned with what's happening right now. But this is not the first time, and she wants you to know that this is going through what we're going through right now. She also that's one thing, but I'm going to take the other part of this. She's also telling me that she's very much with your daughter, Dawn. This is really important. This has nothing to do with current affairs that's going on, but she's very with your daughter. You need to let her know that, okay?
Okay.
I think you know what I'm talking about. But again, she is on the other side watching us, and they're very, very concerned with our current affairs right now. Okay, it's like a 2-part answer to that question, if that makes sense.
Yes. And you tell me my son, his spirit guide is Abraham.
Yes, absolutely.
And what does he have
And
to
he's
say?
with your son very much. Your son is also at the very crossroads of where he is so ready to start, so good in all I can say in his career. He needs to know that it's going to take off. Does that make sense?
100%.
He's kind of like now not sure which way to go, but he needs to follow his intuition as far as this goes, because he's going to have a lot of opportunities. I believe he's an attorney, correct?
Yes.
And he's going to get a lot of opportunities. He needs to weigh up certain things, but what he chooses, as long as he's absolutely certain he's on the right track, he will be on the right track.
Okay, thank you.
Sally, what do you call every time I walk into a building, the door opens?
Your guide, you know that. It came to me very well.
Mm-hmm.
They're just letting you know that they're here. Just know that they're opening doors for you.
Like
It's simple.
I was traveling from California to Jersey, and every gas station, the door would fly open.
They're trying to get your attention, and you know that.
Yeah.
But they've got your attention, so they know that. So just say, thank you. That's easy. Just thank you for opening the door for me. They're opening doors for you. That's also very relevant. They
Yeah,
are opening
I've seen
doors
it.
for you.
Yeah.
Right. Hello. I felt that you want to ask me something,
I
but that's
felt it
okay.
too. And that's
Sally, the acknowledgement and the understanding, if you say it or someone else says it about prior lives, What role does that have in present and future tense?
Actually, Freddie, it has a very big role, because what we do in a prior life, sometimes, and they call it karma, as we're all aware of, we need to correct that. It doesn't always happen in the next life. It can happen in the life following that. But they're trying to make us aware we have free will, and that's very important for our viewers to understand. So it's still up to us, but they give us various messages. Let's say that we have somebody in our last life or the life before the last one that we have to make good, so to speak, with that person. So it will come into our life if we're ready, and it will release that karma. So we have to take notice of that. Sometimes we meet people as we walk around and have an instant maybe dislike. I'm not saying walk away from that, because they have something to teach us and we have something to learn. Our past lives are very important to actually balance the karma that we have.
Are we meant to learn?
It's all about learning. Absolutely. We're here to learn. Then we will, and that's another show, but we'll do that. We graduate, so to speak, and go into the next dimension. We're here to learn. It can take, in our time, which is 80 years, 1,000 years. Time is irrelevant, actually, because there's no time on the other side. But we're here basically to learn and continue our journey. That's a very, very important message for us to understand.
And does the word learning have different meanings?
Well, depending on the situation, yes, it has. Everything that we do here, sometimes, and it has, and we need to learn from that. Especially sometimes when we're here and we have some really what we call devastating things happen to us. It's hard to say that we need to take the positivity out of that, but the more we're graduating into the next dimension, actually the harder it is for us to learn. But if we're aware of that and we correct a lot of the things in this lower dimension here, we will graduate eventually, because many times we have a situation and it's like, I can't believe what's happening. We go through it, and sure enough, again, maybe 5 or 6 years later, we have a very similar situation. It's showing us that we need to learn from that. A very good example is we hear many times someone gets married, maybe an abuse, it may be anything in that relationship. We break that off, and then we meet the same different person, but the same situation again. We're here to learn from that. Once we begin to understand that, our situation will change.
What does the spirits? Why do spirits attract themselves to us? Is it because of vibrations?
They're here to help us. Bottom line is, everybody that is watching us, they're not giving us bad information. Yes, there are playful spirits. I can't say everybody, because sometimes that does come in. But mainly they're here to teach us, to help us through these difficult situations. Life is not easy, as we're seeing right now. But you know what? As long as we can begin to understand that and keep a positive out view of what's happening, to learn, we are helping ourselves and the world, actually.
Sally, when you die and you go into heaven, they, according to what I was reading and everything, they show you, if they take you in a room and they show you all your lives from the very beginning, right? What is that purpose? I mean, because then you're already learning everything.
Actually, that's a good question. I can only say what I feel. I mean, I have no way of proving this. I just feel it. Yes, they show us our lives. We see our lives of what we've done in this life. If you're learning, let's say we're in school, because that's where I consider we are right now, and you're in school and you're actually seeing what you may have taken from your last lesson, and they go over it. We're here to correct a lot of that. We're here for correction, okay? That's coming very strong, the word correction for me, so that when we go into our next incarnation, we may not know that, but somewhere in our psyche, in our subconscious, we're here to learn more, so we can correct that. We don't always correct it in this lifetime. We come back to correct it, but it's there to show us. Yes, we do have a life review. I'm absolutely certain of that.
So it's safe to say that we're immortal.
Of course, we go on forever. I can't tell you the end of this because we go somewhere else because I'm not privy to that information and they won't give us. But we're here many, many, many different lives. But ultimately, I can't go beyond that, okay? But there is a beyond.
I have a question about my son. He passed in 2018, and it was said to me through a reader, through someone else, that he is in charge of doing miracles. And I find that to be kind of strange.
Okay,
Is that possible?
I have to tell you, Sandy, and people that have watched my show continually let me know that it's validated by goosebumps. I am getting goosebumps. So my answer is to you, yes. And I've known you for many years. We may not see that much of each other, but shortly after he passed, I believe I went to you, and many things happened, even to his picture that was underneath my chair when I was giving you messages. He's here. He's in charge of some sort of miracle. I'm getting goosebumps. I think that's correct. It may be hard for you to understand that, but I want to let you know that I'm validating that. Does that make sense? Do you feel good about that? Hopefully. Good. You're welcome.
So then let me understand. If we learn from history, and we learn that tomorrow or presently today comes from learning from the past. If you're constantly learning, how do we get leaders? What's the difference between somebody who's a leader and teaching you how to do this and somebody who's learning and following?
I think, and the first thing that comes to my mind is they follow their intuition. They believe that they have a message to show us. So the leaders are the ones, and this is what I'm feeling, that show us that we can do this. They pick out certain people. I can't put myself, I don't know if I'm in that category. I'm here to do my show, to pass my message on. But there are many people here that are leaders that are following somehow with what they're hearing, and they become leaders in their field or whatever it may be. There are many different leaders for different reasons.
But aren't you a leader because you're teaching us how to
I
acknowledge
am,
it?
but as you know, Freddie, I'm kind of devoid of my ego, but I have to say that today. Yes, I'm a leader for the people that want to listen to me, that want to follow me by my own example of what's happened to me. So much has happened to me. How can I not share this? So that if that makes me a leader, then I'm a leader today to show you that anything is possible. Makes sense? I have this guide with me right now that he always wants to be validated.
Well,
Does
no,
that make sense?
It does make sense because the bottom line here is that you need somebody to point to the path of something that you have to begin to understand and acknowledge. I think a lot of it has to do with not having the security of oneself.
Believe in yourself. Be true to thyself. And I'm glad you brought that up. So if you feel that you're on a right track to do something, to show people maybe of what's happened to you. I came out with what I'm talking about 18 years ago. I didn't even understand that, but I know I was traveling to many different planets. I didn't care at that point what people might think. Today, obviously, it's more acceptable. I wrote a book about that. I know what happened to me. I didn't understand it at that time, but I went to many different planets. I came out with what's happening. I think we need to talk about what's going on with ourselves. And if it's something a little bit out of the norm, I think we still have a purpose. We need to express what's happening. I had no idea what people thought about me, thought she's crazy, but I knew I had to do that. Today I understand it more, and I'm very here to say that I've been abducted many, many times. I don't care right now. But there are people that are like at a crossroad here. Talk about what's happening to you. Talk about it, see and try to be positive, and let's spread this message. Let's bring up more and more positivity in this world today. I don't know if that completely answered your question, but that was the answer that I got. Does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. I think we need to listen more to those that can, to learn how to become those as well.
We need to go with, and I talk about this a lot, and I don't want to keep bringing it up, but go with our gut. Go with our first choice of what's going on. And normally I'm not going to say always, but normally it's correct. It's correct because they're trying to get our attention. There are many people on the other side that are trying to talk about us. They call it the other side of the veil. Let's listen. Let's open up this more. We need that. We need their help right now. Let's all listen to what we feel in our gut, what we should be doing.
Do you think you've traveled, and we've talked to other people who are from other planets, right? The seeds that have been planted here. Medication, different physical ailments happen to those that are from other planetary sources?
Okay, for me personally, and I don't want to sway anybody not to listen to their doctors because that's very important, but I feel that we have been given the tools. This is my personal opinion, and I'm not saying go to doctors, but I feel that through my own intuition, I can heal myself. I'm not sure of the question. Can you just continue a little bit and ask me that again?
Do you think our different DNAs are different bloodlines?
Yeah, there are different DNAs and different bloodlines.
We respond differently to medications, whether we're from this planet, whether we're partially from another star or another planet?
Yes. We have, our DNA is different, each one of us, and it can actually, the way that I see it is that it's a learning curve. Let's call us old souls. So the ones, it means that we have more knowledge because we've been here many more times, and our DNA will reflect that. Personally, for myself, I feel that, and I'm a good example of maybe how this happens, but I'm not telling you. I still say, please go to your doctors. I broke this shoulder 10 years ago. I had surgery. I broke this one 7 or 8 years later on the same place, on the other arm, and they told me that I needed surgery. So please don't go by me. This is what happened to me. I didn't want to go through what I had. However, I actually healed myself with this, and it's important to know, but doesn't always happen. They told me I would not have full movement or range of motion. I have today full range of motion. But that may be partly because I truly believe that without the surgery. So I'm not here to tell you don't have surgery and don't believe in doctors. That's really important. But it's up to us to kind of understand that, if that makes sense. I didn't go with my regular doctors, and I have full range of motion in this arm. That was me because I have a DNA that I'm beginning to understand that was able to do that. We don't always have the same DNA. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying, if it makes sense, but that's how I feel.
And you told me last week, sometimes I close myself off to the messages. Are there ways to keep yourself open to receiving the messages? I guess kind of like what Sandy said, for her to be able to receive them again?
Yes, absolutely. Please be aware that you're getting messages. Do not close yourself off. Why would you, if you have the answers, let's think of it this way, that something beyond what we understand is giving you the answers, why would you not listen? Listen, Dawn, you're able to do that. We have, and I hope you don't mind me saying this on the air, we have the same DNA because there's so much that's been happening between us. They're giving you, and you are able to understand that. Please listen. Do not close yourself off.
When you live in the moment, sometimes you just don't listen because if they give you the answers of how to fix or change or even a persuasion, you're not going to listen to it because you're living in the moment.
Well, it's up to us to understand that, Freddie. Once you become aware that maybe it's like talking to someone and we have belief in them, we're going to listen to them. If we do not have belief in that person, we're not going to listen. I believe that on the other side, although we do have pranksters and jokers, that they're giving us the information that we know. If you believe that, you're going to listen to them.
So is this what's meant by someone saying to you, you have vision? In other words, you see things differently than other people. And then how do you react to something like that? Do you deny it? Do you say no? Well, how do you react to it?
It's up to us to interpret that. We have free will. I believe that I'm getting messages through dreams, through me hearing, through me understanding this. This is how I'm able to do my show. I don't know these answers. Me personally, Sally, everything that everybody's asking me week after week, do I know? No, I don't. But they're guiding me. So to me, I have complete belief in what I'm hearing. But not everybody's at that point. My purpose for this show too is to open up people's minds to know that there are people, what we call on the other side, beyond the veil, that are trying to help us. Let's listen. Let's try to believe, and if we don't believe it, listen to our gut, our intuition, and we will get the answers. We may not even like the answers sometimes. They're giving us advice, just like I'm talking to you and giving everybody here what I know as advice. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're ready to wrap it up.
Okay, I think we have time for maybe one more question. Anybody here? We have to do this quickly so I can give the answer.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. You said that we all have a guide. How do you know who your guide is?
We don't until they make themselves known. And you know this, Margaret, because we're good friends. Go with your gut, and our guide is there. So just listen. I can't give you the names of all our guides. We have many guides. Just go with what you feel is correct. I've given you, as you know, many messages, correct? I don't know the answers. Someone's guiding me to tell you that they're around you. So just believe that, and you'll go with your intuition. Intuition is very important. Does that help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Another question is, I think I've told you this before. I have in my kitchen, I have a paneled wall. And often, I would say every day, at some time of the day, I get a particular sound from there. Like a rotting of wood or whatever. I don't even know how to explain it. And I just think it's my husband coming to visit me. And I tell him, right as I say good morning or good afternoon, whatever it is. But is that possible?
Yes. And I am very aware of your husband because I knew him. It's his way of telling you that he is around you. For all that's going on, he's there, he's watching over you. Margaret, I've given you enough messages from him of things that I didn't know. Just know what I'm saying to you. He wants me to tell you, yes, it's him, okay? You know that. We've had many messages from him. It's him, okay? Thank you. I think we have to wrap this up now. Thank you, everybody. Please tune in next week.
And to contact Sally directly, you can contact her at callmezena1111@gmail.com.
It depends if Sally's...
Thank you. Goodbye. I see you next week. Coincidence or not, it's time to trust your intuition and knowings. Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book, artwork, and contact through artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week. This has been Call Me Zena.